What's up, witches?
What's up, bitches?
I'm Linda Hurd,
And I'm John.
and this is Getting Witchy.
Yes,
And
indeed.
today we are talking about Imbolc.
Happy Imbolc, y'all. This probably won't get uploaded until after, not long after, but after Imbolc. Excuse me. But yeah, Happy Imbolc. New beginnings. That's ultimately what Imbolc is about, is new beginnings. It's the end of the winter period, the beginning of spring, husbandry, or that's a
Mating.
A herding term, or a term used by people that have herds of different things. But yes, the mating time, before the big birth at springtime when flowers bloom.
And babies are born.
So, typically happens on February 1st or 2nd, depending on where you're at.
Also depends on which calendar you're following, because if you're following the Gregorian, then yes, it'll always be
like February 1st or 2nd.
Right.
Usually the 2nd.
But if you're following the astronomical calendar, it might be different. And the only reason I'm mentioning
Same with the Julian.
is because with Samhain, on the Gregorian calendar, it's always October 31st.
Right.
But in 2023, according to the astronomical calendar, Samhain actually happened on November 7th.
That makes sense, though, because, and I'm not a huge knowledge base for the Day of the Dead festivities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in Central Central America, and beyond. But that's just like the whole, technically, Candlemas, which is another name for Imbolc, is over a period of time.
Right.
So it would make sense that one calendar would show, the astronomical would show it at its true location in the sky, than what the Gregorian, which is the most accurate calendar that we've been able to come up with thus far, that is the most easy to follow without having to change too much every fucking year.
Yeah.
Because there is that with the
right.
older count, you had to change shit.
Yeah, because stuff is going to shift every year.
And it was easier to have
the alignment of the planets.
And it's easier to have a set date like December 25th, right. October 31st,
right,
February 2nd.
Yes, because you know what drives me freaking crazy about the current Gregorian calendar? Thanksgiving. Yes, it's always the fourth Thursday of November, but the date changes.
Oh yeah, well my daughter was born,
irritating as shit.
My daughter was born on actually Thanksgiving Day. November 28th of... You're going to put me on the spot like that.
That's the thing, though.
You're going to put me on the spot like that on the fucking camera?
It's not always going to be Thanksgiving Day, though.
But it was on that year.
Yes, that year it was.
Like 92. I want to say. Of course, if Taylor watches this, she's going to give me shit if I'm wrong. And I'm going to give you hell for making me put this on camera that I can't think of. Keith was born in 88. She was born 4 years later. 92.
Okay, so 92.
Yes. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, so, hey, there are several ways you can celebrate Imbolc. Now, there are rituals, of course. If you have one of Scott Cunningham's books, I don't know if this is his first one, but I think it was the first one. But anyway, this has a ritual in here, at page 139 of his book Wicca. I'm not going to read that to you. but there are rituals for it.
Yes.
In my book of shadows, I've got a one-page art listing for Imbolc. The literal meaning of Imbolc is in the belly or use milk. In the belly or use milk. Because what was coming a few months later were the births
Yes, of
all the babies from the husbandry that was done during this time period. Boys got frisky, girls became available, and they had babies. It's an ancient Celtic celebration marking the end of winter and the coming of the sun, or God, or light. God with a lowercase g, if you're going to be that like anal about it. In addition, Imbolc signified the beginning of, well, we talked about this, breeding season, and a return to farming, warfare, and other social activities. Now,
warfare is a social activity?
I mean, technically, I guess it is. You're socially interacting with people. Now,
As
you are
stabbing them.
Yes. But you're doing it next to your brother. So it's social. Hey, I don't know. I didn't write that. That is, like, anything I've got in this is basically like a summary or synopsis of various, probably 3 or 4 different books that I researched.
Okay.
So, anyway, Christian assimilation began with the sainthood of the goddess Brigin, the goddess of fire.
Okay.
What are you trying to say? I said the name wrong?
No.
Bhrgid. It has been pronounced as Brigand.
Okay.
With an N. That is incorrect. That is white bread shit. But it is Brigand.
Okay.
It continued, the assimilation, it continued by initiating Candlemas, which marks the end of Christmas, the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay.
Although that's well past 12 days.
Well, yes.
There was, I think we talked about this in our Christmas episode. I hope we did. But there is a time period, it's kind of like Hanukkah. It goes several weeks.
Right.
And there are multiple holidays and celebrations, and it's basically one big fucking feast from like the 21st of December till February 2nd or 3rd. During the time of Imbolc, initiation ceremonies are perfect for new seekers. End of winter meditations. I mean, meditation in general is good.
Right.
I mean, self-initiation. You're a solitary witch, or a solitary practitioner.
Right.
Is the PC way now. And you want to self-initiate. Initiation typically happens with covens, and you're dedicating, not denicating, but dedicating yourself to that coven and their beliefs and teachings. Whereas a self-initiation, where there are some that don't believe you could do that because it needs to be a coven and blah, blah, blah. No, if you have it in your desire to initiate yourself in the craft, then absolutely you can. And there are self-initiation rituals I did 2 actually. One self-initiation and then one a rededication. Anyway, candle rituals of rededication, just mentioned that. Group rituals, and then house cleaning rituals.
Spring cleaning. the old in with the new.
Thank you.
Bring in the new energy.
Something that still happens today. The concept of spring clean. That's why I find it very humorous. I love the Christian world and Muslim world for many of their not a hypocrisy, although there are lots of those too. I can't think of the word. Basically saying this, they're horrid, evil, and shouldn't exist, but then doing some of the same shit.
Oh yeah, that's total hypocrisy, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm not trying to get martyred by Muslims.
They don't. Well, I'm not speaking about Muslims. I'm just saying, like, the church in general.
Yeah.
It's okay that we do it because it's God's will.
Right.
Because
like
we're doing God's work.
Yeah.
Or practicing witchcraft. Hello. The whole consecration of the wine and the bread
it's
and
all
communion.
witchcraft.
Yeah, it's all witchcraft.
It's all.
But they're not going to admit that.
Well, and then they have the censers with the...
Yes, where you cleanse the space with incense, which is totally a witchcraft practice.
Or song.
Yes.
Like in others.
Yep. But of course, when they do it, it's okay. But when others do it...
It's witchcraft.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It's bullshit.
So, my point, what I tried to make is, like, all groups have, not just because we talk mostly about the Christian, Catholic, specifically Roman Catholic, they've all assimilated ancient practices into their daily lives, like spring cleaning. Once a year, you give the house a full-on fucking top-to-bottom cleaning. That's a ritual of Imbolc, which is the beginning of spring in many regions.
Have you ever noticed just how much the church is like the Borg? You will be assimilated.
You will be assimilated.
Resistance is futile.
So, it is traditional upon Imbolc at sunset or just after the ritual to light every lamp in the house, if only for a few moments. Pardon me?
I said, that reminds me of a country song. Seriously, there is a country song called Every Light in the House is On. I am not about to sing it, but there is one.
You better not. Or to light candles in each room in honor of the sun's rebirth. Again, going back to like the end of winter, the beginning of spring. Alternately, light a kerosene lamp with a red chimney, and place this in a prominent part of the home or window. I'm not familiar with what the significance is of having a red chimney.
Because red is one of the colors of the sun, of the element of fire.
Okay, but...
So it's welcoming in...
Red? Okay.
It's welcoming in the sunlight.
Okay. If snow lies on the ground outside, walk in it for a moment, recalling the warmth of summer. With your projective hand, trace an image of the sun on the snow. Now, everybody knows what your projective hand is, right? The one you write with, basically.
Your dominant hand. Yes.
Foods appropriate to eat on this day include those from dairy, of course, because it's the time of the used milk and, the actual literal meaning of them. What is it? In the belly or used milk.
Yeah.
Sour cream, that's dairy.
That's dairy.
Spicy and full-bodied foods. Curry goat. Ooh. That's
spicy
yummy.
To welcome the sun back.
Yeah. In honor of the sun. curries. Oh, how funny it says curries. Curries, because I said
Curry
goat. Curries and all dishes made with peppers, onions, leeks, shallots, or shallots, however you want to fucking pronounce it. Garlic or chives are appropriate. Spiced wines. Captain Morgan. Oh, no, that's spiced
rum.
liquor. Yeah.
But
It's
still, I
spiced
mean,
rum.
it's
Hey.
spiced.
Sure.
Ooh, edife would be good to have. Because it's spicy. You've got the bell peppers and the onions.
Yeah, but it's seafood. It has nothing to do with dairy.
You can make it with stuff other than seafood. It's just
Then it won't be edife.
crawfish is what it's usually. But anyway.
Anyway, spiced wines and dishes containing raisins, and all foods symbolic of the sun. Raisins I get, even though I'm not a fan of raisins because they're grapes dried out.
You know, raisin bread.
Yeah, no.
You don't like
I'm
raisin bread? Oh my god, I love raisin bread. You can have your banana bread. I'll take raisin bread.
I'll take it. So, Imbolc marks the recovery of the goddess after giving birth to the god. Now,
Yes.
here, we've had this discussion. Just like the Egyptian gods and the Greek and Roman, they can be a little incestuous.
Okay, so here's what I have read about that, though.
She gives birth to the god in February or January, and then by fall, they are husband and wife. And then he dies again, and then is reborn.
Yes.
With the beginning of the new. So it's a continuous cycle, but I'm just.
So what I have read about it is that it's not a literal relationship. It's more of a symbolic. Because women give birth to the babies. Okay? And then the babies that we give birth to go off and find a lover. Whether they're a male or a female. They go off and they find a lover. And then the whole cycle starts over again. So it's not necessarily that she's banging her own son. It's that...
Well, it says that the god becomes her consort.
Well, symbolically, though.
And impregnates her.
Symbolically, though.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what I read.
Do you think they were really thinking symbolically 2,000, 3,000, 6,000 fucking years ago?
Well, no. But I'm just saying there could be other interpretations to it.
Well, just like there's a dozen interpretations to the Bible.
Yeah. Which one's correct?
Anyway,
I find it interesting that Imbolc lands roughly 6 weeks after Yule.
the gestation period.
Yep. She had already... No, because gestation for a human is 9 months. Well, technically 10. But it's 40 weeks. But, no. After she gave birth at Yule.
Yes.
She is now recovering.
Yes, the birth of...
So, Imbolc lands at the 6 week period, which 6 weeks is our basic maternity leave.
Yes. And when you could start having sex again. 4 to 6 weeks. Am I wrong?
No, but the fact that you even went there.
What? I'm not wrong.
As long as there are no major complications.
Yeah.
Yes. 6 weeks after giving
I
birth.
don't
a
imagine
woman
giving
can-
birth to a god would give you many complications.
Moving on.
This is a Sabbath of purification after the shut-in life of winter through the renewing power of the sun. Again, the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But S-U-N.
The sun in the sky.
So it's also known as the Feast of Torches, Oimelec, Oimelc, O-I-M-E-L-C. Lupercalia, kind of, that's the Roman thing, kind of like Saturnalia. Feast of Pan, Snowdrop Festival, Feast of the Waxing Light, Brigand's Day, and many others. Some female Wiccans follow the old Scandinavian customs of wearing a crown of lit candles.
Because, like, nothing could possibly go wrong with that.
Although that would be pretty fucking hot. That would be cool. Dude, you gonna tell me that walking with a crown of lit candles wouldn't be fucking badass?
Well, of course it would.
Bruh.
But think of the dangers. You have fire literally on your fucking head.
That would explain why some priestesses have little blotches of hair missing. I'm just making that up as I go along. Anyway. Again, this is one of the traditional times for initiations into covens. So self-dedication rituals such as the one outlined in chapter 12
of this book.
Yep. So, yeah. Bottom line is this is a period of renewal, rebirth, new beginnings. So, if you wanted to do, let's say you wanted to do a spell to help you find your great job, your perfect job, or you wanted to open yourself up to a loving relationship, and that's how you have to word the spell. You don't want just a partner or a relationship.
Right.
You need to be, again, just like we've said before in other things, you need to be specific. Like if you're trying to do something new in your life, a new beginning of any kind, job related, your own, let's say, fuck the New Year's resolutions. I was about to say revolutions. But if you wanted to make it a positive change and be more active, exercise more, whatever. Anything that would imply a new beginning, this is the time of year to do it. And if the new moon falls, which it did not this year, but if it falls at around the same period as Imbolc,
ooh,
double the fucking power.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like quadruple the power, because then you have the power of the moon acting in the same direction as the time of year and the ritual. So, that would be a perfect time to do that.
Yeah, that would be pretty powerful.
And then there's also the days of the week. We haven't talked about that at all. We haven't...
No, that's going to be later.
Okay.
We are going to do that. We are going to discuss that.
Because every day of the week has a history to it. Not just the name, but the planets associated to it.
What spells are best to be performed that day.
Right.
But at the same time, there's also certain things for each hour of the day.
Yes. There are different hours of the day that are better for different things. Like, if you really want to get into it, it's fucking intense.
It's very involved.
And it's awesome. I personally do not have the ability to, I want to do a money spell. Well, the best, and I'm just pulling this off the top of my head, so it's completely inaccurate. But I'm going to do a spell at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, on the second week of the month, during a full moon. And I'm going to use green candles. And it's that fucking detailed.
Yeah.
And would need to be planned out accordingly. Because what are the odds of that? That's probably a 1 or 2 times per year type of scenario that I just listed. Probably.
Yeah.
So Anyway,
So you gotta be very, very patient if you're gonna do it that way.
which is why I mean, I'm not taking away or trying to take away from the reality of the power of doing it that way on the specific day, specific hour.
But that's how they did it, though.
They
back
did.
In the day.
They did. However, it doesn't have to be done that way. You can do a money spell, a new beginning spell, a new job, a new career, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. You could do that anytime.
Yes.
Anytime. There are apparently better times to do it than others, but
Yes.
you can do it anytime.
Now, keep in mind that it is Imbolc in the northern hemisphere right now. If you are in the southern hemisphere, it is actually Lemmus, otherwise known as Lunasa, which in the northern hemisphere happens in August. So if you are in the southern hemisphere, happy, merry, blessed Lunasa. We will get to that one later.
On our timeline.
Yes, on our timeline.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure. We love you. Bitches.
Blessed be witches.
Blessed be witches.
Peace out.